26/11 terror attacks in Mumbai was one of the most gruesome and most lethal attacks ever witnessed in world history. 166 people lost their lives, and the Indian media covered the event quite aggressively, so as it even helped the Pakistani terrorists gain some insight on what the plan of action was. So today we have with us Mr. Biju Dominic, who will be talking to us about the media's coverage and what could have been done better. So thanks a lot, Mr. Biju, for being with us here today. So I'll start off with the 26/11 terror attacks in Mumbai. Like it caused carnage and havoc all across Mumbai, and it's a really painful thing for everyone who stayed in the city. What do you think? How was the coverage of the whole attack?
See, as a citizen of Mumbai, obviously, when it happened, it came as a huge surprise to all of us. And I think all of us were also obviously wondering what was really happening out there. And the only source of information we could actually get was from the news channels. And obviously, what the news channels started doing it was they started reporting it. They started saying, okay, this is what is happening. This is what is, whatever. And I think almost like they were, giving almost a running commentary of the whole thing. And as a normal citizen of the country, maybe we felt fairly okay with that because we were what is happening where, because we were more worried about immediate information was seen as fairly good because, for example, my own office was somewhere in one very close to one of the hotels that was attacked. And so are my colleagues there? Have they all left? Who has got injured? Who is this? I think so. Initially, from a citizen point of view, any running commentary, almost like watching a cricket match or a football match, someone talking about it was actually very good. Obviously, as much as we benefited from what was really happening around there, it was also being used by the terrorists because they were picking up those ones and actually then was picking up information about where the police is, what the police is doing, what the security forces were doing. Now that showed, let me put it, an utter lack of understanding of the media on how to deal with a situation. For example, a terrorist situation.
Some very, revered and professional journalists cover the event. For example, Barka Dutt. There was a lot of controversy surrounding her and her coverage, like the aggressive coverage she did. So she's been on a war. Like she was there. She covered the Kargil war. A veteran like her, even she got criticized for her coverage. Do you think that somewhere around TRPs have a role in this excessive coverage the media is doing on such events?
See, of course, TRPs will be a driver, but I think here, to me, are let me call it lack of certain rules. Now, even in war, I'm sure when you say, yeah, some of these are journalists who have covered war, but I'm sure the army has its own rules which says I'm not going to take you to the extreme lines across there. As a journalist, you can come so far and nothing beyond it. But here was a situation where such rules were not set and such rules were not defined, because at that point of time the policemen and others were involved in not setting up rules to deal with the journalists. They were more concerned with dealing with the terrorists. One, I won't, it's very easy to blame the journalists, but I think rules are always created once you have an event has happened and you learn from it. And this was a unique situation, and unique situations is also difficult for people to think through the consequences of what to do. This was the first time such an event was being, a terrorist attack was happening, and also that an attack was almost being telecast live. But I'm sure the next time something happens, and I'm sure delayed or what to do and all that would actually happen. So rules are created once such an event has happened.
Do you think we could have got this? We could have solved the issue a lot more sooner then, like if there was a better communication between the media and defense.
And I'm sure the defense also immediately, their way of concern was to make sure their colleagues land in time, land where it took some time for, I'm sure, the defense, the experts to realize that, hey, they're getting information. They seem to be picking up. Where could that be? I'm sure that analysis came in a bit later because it was also difficult for even, I'm sure, the best minds in our defense forces also to know that, okay, these guys are keeping our channels, Indian channels open and using that input to actually now give information to the guys who are the terrorists who are inside the hotel to what to do and what not to do. I don't think even our defense forces realized that, terrorists were getting information from there. I have no idea now as when we came to know about it. Was it a post-mortem when we did it, we analyzed and we realized it? Or was it definitely it was few hours later?